everybody in internet land. Welcome to the Sci-Fi Miami New Horizons Sci-Fi Show. I just want to share immediately some very interesting news, and that is the festival is starting out with its new theme. It's starting out with its new theme, which very few people are aware of what we do, in our behind the scenes. We try to keep things quite secretive. We don't allow too much news to get out, and of course it's for good reason, because we want folks to be surprised, excited, all of these cool things. And we decided that because of the festival being during a time where it's challenging. There's so much, how do I put it? So much hurt going on in the world, and it's really unfair for people. And we're hurt by a lot of this, and we just feel that it's time for people need to feel better about themselves. They need to feel that the world is a better place, despite all of the hatred and separation and really bad things that are happening. Of course, if you're in the U.S., over here, it's nuts. There's a lot of stuff that's going on that most people, even in the U.S., don't even know what's going on. So, we decided that this year we want something to be different. We want a message that's very positive. We want a message that will show, no matter how hard things get, no matter how hard things get, that a positive future awaits. And there are not that many sci-fi shows that do that. Of course, we're familiar with Battlestar Galactica. Everybody's familiar with that, and Star Wars. But there's a very old Japanese animation that did it very, very well. And it was so good that there's a company that actually put their hands and grabbed the show and converted it to being able to be played in the United States. And this was in the 80s, 1980s. And it took a long time. It took many years before it to really catch on. It was a TV show that was syndicated, all over the country, different places, not everywhere, but many places. And it did really well for itself. But it kind of disappeared, faded away. Later on in the 80s, later 80s, a lot of people in the United States got their hands on VHS cassette tapes from a lot of the conventions of Japanese animated shows. One of the big popular ones at the time was Akira. But even before Akira, this show was out. And the show that I'm specifically referring to is the show that you may know of, called Macross. I'm going to bring that up here for you to see. Hey guys, 1 minute. The show called Macross, and Macross really is, in my opinion, it belongs in it is a foundation block in science fiction. It is a foundation block. And just to give you an example, this is Macross. Okay? Macross, which is also known as Robotech. Yes, there are differences. Some people argue about Macross and Robotech all the time. We feel, okay, you're entitled to an opinion. Most of the folks that have such aggressive opinions weren't even born, or much less were old enough to even watch any of the shows. However, to this day, I still will bet, and others agree, that Macross, or better yet, Robotech, is the greatest sci-fi love story of all time. And it's not a cartoon for kids. It's not a cartoon for kids. It's actually an animation with a story, a backstory, action, a lot of violence. That's adult rated. It's not something that kids would really watch. Maybe teenagers, of course, but not children. You're not going to want your 5-year-old to watch this. They're going to get scared. They're not going to really know what's going on. But Macross is, or Robotech, is an adult quality science fiction episodic story that set the tone, set a lot of the technology that to this day is still going on. And just to give you a little taste, of it, someone said they wanted Rick Hunter and the SDF-1 for Christmas. Of course, we all do. Just to give you a little taste, I've got 2 little openings for you. And the first opening is going to be Macross, the original. Remember, Macross is the original, or Macross, there are different ways to pronounce it. And then there's Robotech. Robotech is the American version, okay, which was designed for American consumption based on American TV format. That's the reason. Macross, as it stands, could not be played in the United States because they're only a short, the number of episodes is less than what is required by the FCC at the time to have such content play on television. So what the folks at Harmony Gold, Robotech, what they did was put together two other Japanese TV series to make Robotech first generation, second generation, third generation. But we're not going to go into everything right now. We're only going to talk about the first generation, which is the big deal behind it. And I'll give you a little taste of Macross, and then I'll give you a little taste of Robotech. Ready for it?
All systems green.
Robotech.
So that was the two of the intros to Robotech and to Macross. And what made it so special, what also, should I say, made it so special, is that Robotech was probably, and Macross, I should say it chronologically, Robotech, Macross, then Robotech. But this show was probably one of the first shows, if not the first, we had an interracial couple, relationships. The show projected a future at the time that was the future when it was set, where the world was a little bit different than a lot of the mayhem that was going on in the day-to-day back then. So it was different. It was a very different show. And the theme of the festival is, do you remember love? Do you remember love? You know, with all of this horror of the pandemic and all the madness that's going on in the world, we want people to know that there are alternatives. Do you remember love? And that's the theme for the festival. You'll see more about it on the website in the upcoming days, and content and all kinds of cool things that are going to come forward. We have amazing guests that are going to be attending the festival this year. And just to make a quick announcement on that, let me not forget, because I did want to tell folks that we will have, where's our little list here? Okay. Of people who will be attending the festival. And you may know Simone Weber. Some folks in the anime world know Simone Weber. Simone Weber is a artist, she's a singer, and she sings, so let's say, does the reimagination or the branding of a lot of the songs in the anime world. And she does a fantastic job with Robotech and Macross. And she's going to be attending the festival for this coming February. We will have David Gerald. David Gerald, if you don't know David Gerald, you may know the old Star Trek series, Trouble with Tribbles. Trouble with Tribbles. David Gerald is the writer of the Trouble with Tribbles, and he will be joining us and presenting a talk. So everybody who's going to be there is going to be on a talk, presenting a talk, or providing in a panel, or participating in a panel, doing all these kind of things. We'll also have Thaddeus Cesari from NASA joining us. We will have Kyle Sullivan from Trexpertise. We will also have Alec Peters from Axonar. We will have Johan Albrechtsen, who was our very first winner on music videos. We've had a little thing with music videos recently, lots of fun. And with that, we will have Tommy Mack, who won this past season, with his music video, amazing guy. We will also have Giovanni Bucci and Paola Roschetti, who will be also joining us. They are some very, let's say, they have an amazing talent with motion graphics and the VFX technologies. Their music video was done. It was very well received at the festival. If you like Mad Max and industrial music like Skinny Puppy, you'll really enjoy these guys. And I don't want to leave anybody else out. Yes, we will have Mark McCrae and Dan Klink will be joining us. Mark McCrae, you may know of the production series called Funimation. He-Man, the universe, all of those wonderful things. Well, he's part of that troupe, and he will be joining us and giving an amazing presentation about the best Saturdays of our lives. So, and we'll have more too. It's not going to end there. But I definitely wanted to share that with everybody. You're going to have a great time with this, and we anticipate that there will be lots of good things going forward with the festival. So going forward, we have a very interesting collection of folks coming to us from Spain, and the Iberian Peninsula. And make sure that everybody's not muted. No one's muted.
Yeah, we are.
Hi. Hi.
Hey,
Hello,
yeah,
Troy.
thanks so much for
Thank you very
coming.
much.
Yeah. Hey, Prof, how are you?
Good evening.
But we have Manolo, who was the director and producer of the film House. And House is a sci-fi thriller that was at an ECT last season, and it's a very interesting film about hacking and artificial intelligence. Part of the cast, we have Victor and Christina, who were part of this amazing cast that he put together. Originally, the film was is in Spanish, but more recently, the film has been dubbed in English, and it's on Amazon for everybody to see. I
Right.
highly recommend it. If you haven't seen it yet, you'll enjoy watching this film, this feature film. We're getting a little bit of feedback on folks. Someone needs to be muted. Rob, is it Manolo, uh, Victor? But we're getting some feedback. Getting an
No, I think the echo actually. Maybe Victor and Christina, maybe mute yourselves if you're not talking. There is a mute button on the bottom. Yeah, that's
Okay.
probably it.
oh, yeah,
Yeah. So if you don't talk, just keep it muted because I think you are with speakers, which means everything goes. Anything that we say goes back to your microphone.
and of course we have our co-host here,
Okay.
Prav. Prav's on location, and where are you, Prav?
Hey guys, we're out and about in downtown Del Rey looking for the Christmas tree lighting. They're actually going to do artificial snowfall, so I'll live stream the snow in Florida in a little bit.
Oh,
Yeah,
cool.
Yeah, great and a
yeah,
great opening, Troy. Yeah, Robotech was my pre bus stop going to school in the morning when I was a little kid growing up. And so much of that, I think so much of that cartoon really defined my life and that era of my life, right? You're all like we all thought we were Rick Hunter basically
right,
back
right.
then, and I think the girls were probably Lisa.
Well, that's awesome, man. It's good to hear that you're a Robotech fan. I was hoping that you were. So
Yeah,
that's fantastic. We will
and,
have a
and
nice little piece on it, and um, we'll have Simone Weber. She's going to be performing one or two of their songs. We're going to have a live premiere. It's going to be very nice. It'll be very nice.
yeah, and I was saying like in the chat before we started was so much of the Robotech and Macross only now makes sense, where it was
Oh yeah,
very much decades ahead of its time.
yes,
Even like sociological,
yeah,
environmental issues. Like, I think it had the very first transgender character on syndicated TV in the United States. I think season 3
that's
when they
correct.
got back to Earth. Yeah,
Yellow Dancer.
yeah,
Yeah,
and it wasn't a big deal for kids because we didn't understand. But I think if it wasn't a kids show, I think would have been a controversial back
yeah.
then.
I don't think anybody knew back then. They
Yeah,
probably didn't
it
see
just
it. They would watch it. They didn't, whatever the situation was.
yeah, the parents probably thought it was just all robots or something.
Yes, yes, that's right. So so for the remainder of the day, unless we have folks send comments in, we're going to be talking about House, in particular, its backstory with the artificial intelligence is a big deal with it. So we want to, take the conversation that way. So Manolo, give us a
Yeah.
little backdrop on. Actually, let's look at one of the clips.
Yes.
I think that would be a really good idea. This is something you want to see, guys. This is something. Well, you sent us a few nice clips here. Let's take this one on AI. Ready? Here we go.
We're talking about changing what's gonna happen. Not only watching and knowing events that unfold, but changing things before they happen. Maybe What you think that you are changing is what you were going to do initially. God damn it, we know every action has a reaction.
Sitting back and doing nothing is not an option.
Shit, well, maybe this time it is. When you think you've solved a problem, you may have just created a new one in a different place. This ain't right, Rafa.
What happens when technology surpasses us? Forget about governments and just think for 1 second about where we're heading. What will happen when an artificial intelligence becomes aware of itself and evolves and learns and replicates, creating identical machines? How long till that? Eh, David? How long? Years? Months? Days? What happens when the human race loses control?
What are you talking about, huh? That's got nothing to do with this. Almost all of us here understand the advances in artificial intelligence, and there is nothing, nothing, proven that machines will feel enslaved or oppressed by humankind. That is a human emotion, and you're applying it to an uprising of machines? I think what'll probably happen is that the day that the machines become aware of themselves, they'll actually try to help us more and more. They'll help us to find solutions to the problems that we cannot solve.
Look, I don't know what will happen. What I do know is that quantum computers are just around the corner. And with that kind of computing power, calculation speed can increase 10 times. You hear me? 10 times over. And what we have here is a weapon. Not to attack, no, but for our defense.
For our defense? Defense against what, Rafa?
Yeah, that's a great clip. Yes, actually, it's one of the most intense scenes from my point of view from the film. So it's really good to see it also dubbed in English. So yeah, that was really good.
Yeah, being sci-fi fans, someone's gonna ask you, were you a fan of Battlestar Galactica?
I did watch the first one. I didn't finish the new one. Let me call it the new one. But I used to watch the one from the 80s on the TV.
Okay, well, I can tell you that the new one, the reimagined series, spawned other shows, and one of those shows was called Caprica.
Yep,
And
I know about it. Yeah.
all I can tell you, man, this clip right here would be a prequel to Caprica. Definitely, because
Yeah.
not to be, of course, the show's been around. Caprica has been off the air for a good 5 years now.
Mhm.
That's kind of like what happened with Caprica. The machines
Right.
originally wanted to help, but people were so afraid of them that it
Right.
went the other way. But the machines actually helped us. They didn't, and they weren't told to help us. They just wanted to help us.
Well, from my point of view, Troy, there is a fact that we cannot avoid, which is sooner or later this day, the singularity day, the day that a machine will really be aware of themselves. This day is coming. I mean, the estimation, maybe is it used to be 2040. I think now it's 2030, so even closer. So I think it's something that we're going to see, and I want to step in and ask our two actors, what do they think about it? What do they think that is going to happen? Because in the film we have the two versions, but I would like to ask them what do they think about it, starting by Victor. So Victor, what do you think the day an artificial intelligence takes awareness of itself, what happens?
Well, I don't know what happens, but I'm so afraid about that. I learned so much things about the science and informatic science and everything like that when we did the movie, because Manolo talks a lot about that things, and I think it's that film talks about so human thing, because our life can change so quickly. Like it's it's happened now, because it's maybe not for a machine, but for a virus can change our life just
Right.
like that. and I think that it's important of the film because what happens that our characters are so human because they are so afraid about her life and how can change that. And I
Right,
don't
right,
know
right.
what's
No,
gonna
absolutely, absolutely. Christina, what's your point of view on this?
Yo voy a leer una cosa que estoy- No. Okay.
I
Sorry,
have-
sorry because my English is very, very bad. But
That's
I will
okay.
try my best.
That's okay. That's
Okay.
okay. Do what you can. That's fine.
No, the artificial intelligence can learn without limits. It's something that is scary and that can know our passwords and obtain information without limits. And at the end, it's very, very powerful for a machine. It's not a human control, and
When
it's
we
scary.
did-
It's so scary.
when we did the film, I changed all my passwords.
Yes.
And
That's
I
a great sign. That's a very good sign.
Who watch the film, do it the same because it's so important.
Funny.
Absolutely.
Hold on a second here. What's going on over there, Prav? Prav is, he's on location right now. What's going on, Prav?
We're just waiting for we're at the giant Christmas tree lighting, and in about later tonight they're gonna do the artificial snow on this Christmas tree.
Wow.
So there's little kids running around here. This is old school square in downtown.
How are they going to
Delray
make the
Beach.
snow? Do they have any
So-
machines there?
I think I heard Santa's coming. We'll see, and then later tonight we'll be going to the winter boat show. So there's a bunch of people doing paddleboards. So I think I'll bring my we got the Area 51 Raid Area 51 shirt on.
Yeah.
So I think like if something happens tonight, I'm prepared. This seems to be a perfect time because all the aliens, UFOs can get caught up in the lights and Santa stuff going on.
Right.
No one will notice them tonight.
That's so funny.
If I was the alien, this is the night I go out, right? No one's gonna notice you. Tonight or Halloween.
Right.
The big tree. That looks bigger than the one in New York.
Yeah, this thing's huge. Actually, let's get closer. I'm not sure if I think it's actually a room in here. So let's like pop in here.
That's where Santa's hiding.
Yeah, I think it's probably where they do pictures inside. Looks like
Oh, that's
hollow.
great. Wow.
The hollow magic mountain
That's
where they store all the artifacts.
Christmas, and it's like 22 degrees centigrade, guys.
Yeah, it almost looks like a pyramid too. So yeah. It's a cone.
It's a cone, yes.
Cool.
So definitely use this footage in your next film, guys. So.
Okay. Cool one.
Well, check it out. We have a question here. Great to see Manolo again. Should we fear the machines taking over, or should we look forward to merging humans and machines? I might like a quantum brain.
Well, there's a moment in the film for those who watch it where there is this character, Danny, played by Bernard Mestre, and Danny says, "Okay, what else did you see?" And some of the most, let's say, interesting new technologies that are still developing and didn't really appear, didn't really get to the average user are emerging, and one of them is people connecting their brains to real servers, and this is in test mode, and we've seen it in science fiction films, but basically everything that I included there are things that are really being tested, like the guys putting magnets on their ears so that they can magnets on their fingerprints so that they can on their fingers so that they can capture the electronic signals, or cell phones implanted in the ears, this kind of scary stuff, right? So a lot of these that we still didn't, we still haven't seen developing and really growing. I think we will see. So, should we fear the machines? It's very interesting question. There was maybe you read about this article, and I cannot really remember it exactly, but there was they were asking. I have it saved someplace in my inbox, and this is like a month ago or something. So they were asking one of these artificial intelligence that IBM has still already running, if it will destroy the humans. Are you going to kill the humans? And the answer was more or less something like, no, there's no need to. They are going to kill themselves. Something like that. That is scary. That was the answer for the IBM artificial intelligence thing. So it was quite shocking. So first it was a relief, like, okay, we're safe. And secondly was like, oh, wait, maybe we will kill ourselves.
Well, the computer might be right there. We're doing a pretty bad job at the moment.
Right.
We're all kind of problems on the planet. Most folks don't know, but I remember reading that over 80% of the land surface of the Earth has been, and this would be livable, probably 80% of the livable land surface of the Earth has been modified by human beings.
Yeah. Makes sense. Yeah. So hopefully, answering today, and hopefully the machines will help us instead of instead of kill us. So I really hope for that version.
Yeah, that's interesting. And Christina, it's okay. I think it's okay. If you want to say something, but if it may be a little challenging, it's okay to say it in Spanish because we can always translate it into English. So that's if you have something to say, say it. It's fine.
No pasa nada, ¿no?
¿Que puedes hablar en español?
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, because like for example, Simone Weber, who's coming this season, I think she's planning to give her copies, and it will be translated. Will be just what is more.
Okay, perfect.
We've got another one here.
Sí, perdón.
I love the house routine. Is it difficult for the actors to adapt the techie script? Was it difficult?
Well,
Okay, that's for you, Victor.
yeah, I think it's not difficult because we had a lot of rehearsals, and we make a big team, and so many of us, we are friends before the filming, so I think it was so easy to
Sí.
like to adapt the text to the script and do it that. So because of that.
El guión tecnológico.
Yeah. El guión tecnológico. Vale. Okay. We learn a lot of things about Manolo because he talks a lot of things, and I remember like a story of a baby who a hacker they talk with the baby through the walkie-talkie. I'm so afraid about that story because it's so creepy. But my
rehearsals were like a computer science class with Manolo because yes, the actors only questioned Manolo. Manolo, my password is security. I can change my password. Please, can you help us because
Okay,
with like this.
Yeah.
the story that actually Victor was referring to, maybe you heard it. I mean, is in the film. Please mute yourselves, Victor and Christina. In the film, there is a small part talking about this is how easy especially the Chinese cheap video cameras, the ones having a private IP by themselves, which is public, which you can reach with your mobile. They are camera babies. They used to cost like €10, things like that. So they are so easy to hack because they have no security, and there are videos on the internet. I found a couple of them on YouTube of for example, there was one quite shocking for this baby in the room, and it was not like a baby like months, but like a 3 4 years old girl,
Yeah.
and somebody hacked into the baby cam and was talking to the baby, was saying,
Yeah.
"Hello,
I
I
saw.
want to be your I want to be your friend," and things like that, which is super creepy. And then the mom comes in, and the mom says, "Okay, who's that voice?" And is this cheap Chinese camera hacked by somebody just by this, like super easy. So that those are the examples that Victor was referring to. So yeah, I think they learned a lot, but I was really lucky because these actors are so professional on what they do that they can pretend extremely good on and fake their personalities and their characters. Miriam Tortosa, the one that plays Moni, you gave her an award for that,
Yeah.
and because she's like the highest hacker, right? But she has no idea about computers. She's very basic level. But still, you buy it, you believe it, you see the film and say, "Wow, this one knows a lot. She's really good, right?" So I think all of the actors were capable of putting themselves on the shoes of expert computer geeks when necessary. For example, Lucia is a computer geek. She's the one that modifies the program to see much more in advance on the program, right? And all of that is pretending because their level, in most of the cases, the level of knowledge is not as expert as shown in the film.
Right.
Although I will give you also just quickly two exceptions. I mean, the two characters that you just saw, let's say fighting a little, that those are they play David and Rafa. So actually, David is a computer engineer, also a computer technician. So he's really good with computers as well. And then the one playing Rafa, he also started computer studies. I think he didn't finish them, but the two of them had, let's say, more knowledge than the average. So I think it was also good. Yep,
Yeah. Would you like for us to play another clip?
please do.
Okay, this one
So
is.
I think before you play the clip, I was gonna say your earlier comment about the IBM AI basically predicting humanity's future. You know, we kind of like saw that a little bit where we did a, you know, we actually have an AI track this year for the 2021 film festival, and we did like a preview, and we used GPT-3 to create like a screenplay, at least a short screenplay. And what we did was we fed the AI algorithm basically the IMDb um, synopsis
Cool.
of cargo film, like an early, from a
Yeah.
2020 sci-fi, and it actually like without like telling it anything, just like it only had like a couple of dialogue lines, like the couple of the characters, but basically with just the characters' names and a few snippets, it kind of created like India and space. We didn't even tell it it's like an Indian movie. It just like figured it out because it was Indian sounding names, and it started like having like a pretty like interesting, almost like a sequel to Cargo 2, like a short film, but written by an AI. I mean, obviously not perfect, but it was like creative enough to where like
Wow.
it would have been like interesting if someone actually made that film as a short. Yeah.
Right. Very
Wow.
So I think
impressive.
That's
yeah. So
pretty.
it's interesting how the IBM AI also has like a sci-fi doomsday scenario too. I think like sci-fi might be the place where the AI's screenwriters can really shine. Yeah, it's good we're having
Yeah.
that yeah. So
Cargo.
Right.
yeah, we'll maybe those will be popular this year. The AI track.
Yeah.
Good
Well,
idea.
well, that is part. We are doing something like that, I think. Um, in the AI track, right? If I remember.
Yeah. AI is GPT-3 and some of the deep fake type videos, for artificial animation type stuff.
But
Yep.
in the context of Cargo, Arita, that's Arita Kadab. She has a sequel to Cargo. It's not a sequel, but she has a second film out already, and we've been very fortunate to get it for this next coming festival.
Fantastic.
Yeah, man, prolific filmmakers we have at the festival. Really inspiring.
Yeah, you guys really amaze us. People are producing these pandemic produced content now, and
Yep.
it's pretty interesting. Keep it up. So let's watch this next clip.
What is that about Achilles and the tortoise?
Explain, David.
It's a short paradox to explain the limits of sequencing. Imagine that this bottle is Achilles, okay? And let's say that this ashtray is the tortoise. So now, we're in ancient Greece, okay? Achilles returns victorious from another battle, and it seems nothing can stop him. On the way back home, he meets a tortoise, and he laughs about his slowness. The tortoise looks at him and says, "I challenge you to a race, and I bet I can win." Achilles laughs, but when the tortoise insists, he accepts the bet. He will give up all his fame and fortune to the tortoise if it wins a 100-meter race. However, the tortoise asks if he can start the race half of the distance ahead, and Achilles, he agrees. So now the tortoise will start 50 meters ahead. The race begins. They both run as fast as they can, and as Achilles is really fast, very soon he reaches the tortoise's starting position. But when he reaches that point, the tortoise has advanced some meters. Achilles continues to run and once more reaches the tortoise's location, but the tortoise isn't there. Because during the time Achilles took to reach the tortoise's location, it had kept running and advanced further. This keeps on happening time after time. So Achilles never reaches the tortoise. And if Achilles can't catch the tortoise wins the race. Right?
All right, but actually, Achilles wins the race, right?
Exactly. This paradox doesn't take into account the limits on sequencing. It seems the same as happening to Rafa. There's a time value he can't surpass.
Awesome. Were you having a problem seeing the video?
I did. Maybe it was just me. I don't know.
No, we said it good, so any problem.
Oh, it's okay then.
Yeah, but that's pretty neat. For Achilles.
Yeah, actually, I mean that clip is actually iconic now, very topical. A lot of people are actually talking about that aspect about the holographic universe, or how we're living in a a matrix type thing. Basically proving that a tortoise and Achilles can Achilles can never beat the tortoise by mathematical conclusion.
Right.
So it's a trending topic in the Elon Musk, we're living in a simulation world right now. That type of that version of Twitter is talking about this.
I learned this paradox when I was 16 or something like that, and I was astonished. I said, "Wow, this is so cool." It's one of the things, and I said I need to put it on film because it got me so much impact when I was a kid when I learned about this. So that's why it is there.
Well, on a little bit different direction now, Manolo, can you and Victor, Christina tell us how has the film formed now that it's dubbed in English?
You mean how is it doing?
Yes.
Okay, it's actually very recent. The dubbing was done like what, maybe less than 2 months ago, and the main target for this was the United States. In order to reach more people in the United States, we decided to dub the film. It just went out, let's say, like a month ago. It's an Amazon Prime for free, included with your regular account, no extra payment. So anybody can watch it, even if you don't have an Amazon account. There is a trial for free, 30 days or something like that. So that's what we wanted to reach. We want to reach as many people as possible. And in order to do this in the US, we said, okay, the US guys are not used to read subtitles. They are not used to dub films either, but we thought it would be easier for this kind of film where everybody's talking all the time, to make it easier for the English audience, and that's why it's dubbed to English. Yeah.
I definitely agree with that. I haven't watched. I don't think I've watched it all in English. I may have watched a couple clips. I actually enjoy the Spanish version.
Yeah.
That's the art system. Doesn't mind reading because I think the Spanish dialogue is performed very well. The actors, Victor, Christina, you guys carry the film very well. So I get
Yeah,
with
thank you.
that.
We're very aware of the reception of that film around the world, so and the awards and everything, and we're hoping and waiting for the second part. So
There's a part two to it?
maybe, I don't know.
Manolo?
Manolo,
There is no budget. That's the problem. That's the problem. We're trying to recover some of the budget.
Yeah,
So-
they have performance. I understand that. Well, what about other places outside of the U.S. and Spain and Russia? Because you did have a screening in Russia.
Yes, the Russia was the first country to actually take it out on the screen right after Spain. The problem, I mean, it was quite interesting when the actors, probably Victor and Christina can confirm this, when they started saying, hey, out of the sudden, I have now these 2, 3, 30 people following me on Instagram or in social networks, and they're Russia. How is this possible? And that's why. I mean, there was a film. Some people watch it on theaters and then in iTunes, and they liked the film and they started to investigate, find the actors, and follow to see their works.
Oh yeah, that's how that happens. Absolutely. And
It does, yeah.
what other countries have you film screened?
The most shocking one after that is Japan.
Oh, okay.
Right, because we were able to get subtitles actually thanks to a friend from Christina. He speaks he more or less speaks a good Japanese, and he got on board like 2 more people, locals from Japan, I think. So they made the subtitles, and with the subtitles,
Okay.
I put it in Amazon Prime Japan, and I don't know how, but even with Japanese subtitles and without being dubbed, it started to grow, and more people and more people. And right now, there was a moment back in September, like around 900 people in Japan were watching the film every day, like 900 people every day, which is huge. I mean, we expected like 9, and this was 900. That was our top, almost one. It is every day, not in a week. No, every day 900 people, 900 families watching the film as an average, which was astonishing. Right now, I'm checking basically every week, and the average we're getting is around 150 Japanese people watching the film every day, which is still great. It's really good.
Wow, that's good. That's better than most movies.
Oh, and they love it. They love it. They carried us with 7.5 was the last time, so they like it a lot. I don't know why.
That's fantastic.
I have to say that we don't know
We are
that,
surprised.
and we are so surprised about that.
Well, I'm telling you, Victor and Christina, the next time you go to Japan, you will be recognized in the airport.
Make sure you have your little autograph.
Yeah.
That's awesome. You guys are the next David Hasselhoff, big in Japan.
There you go.
So are both you? Well, you guys are both in. Well, all three of you are in Spain right now, right? In the same city, Barcelona.
Yeah, in Barcelona. We live in Barcelona.
What
Yeah.
is the likelihood of content that's produced in
Sorry, because
what is the how common is it that you have Catalonian, as far instead of spoken in Spanish?
no, yeah, we talk. I think it's half and half. Yes, right.
Okay.
Yeah, we talk Catalonian and Spanish, and
It's not our fighting or no.
No. What I'm saying is, how common is movies, film production?
oh no, it's I think it's more production in Spanish, but the government of Catalonia may give money to promote that Catalan film too. We have like you have the Oscars. So in Spain, we have Goya's awards, and then in Catalonia we have a Gaudí awards. It's like from Catalonian cinema, and they try to promote more Catalan films and everything.
Right. I've also heard that the Catalan is similar to
Similar for what?
Mallorca.
Mallorca, yes, it's so similar. Yeah, yeah. Just change a little words and a little expressions, but it's can stand.
It's the same idiom.
Yeah, if we talk, we can stand it.
Este los mismo con Valencia.
Yes.
It's the same idiom, but it's dialecto. Manolo, ¿me puedes ayudar en eso?
Yeah, like the root is the same. The root is the same. So yes, there are a lot of similarities, and actually, even if you didn't speak it, if you speak Spanish, you can understand Catalan and vice versa. And
Maybe
basically the same is going to happen to you in Portugal, for example.
Yeah.
Yep.
Or like an English and American accent, it's different, and some words pronounced different. So it's similar like that.
Yeah, that's pretty neat.
Yeah, it's very sci-fi, almost like the squid species of Europe, like it's just mysterious Catalan, in the I think I saw somewhere even the genetics also of the Catalans is a little different than the rest of Europe.
And welcome to the 6th annual.
That's great. Well, so what are your thoughts on more films? You expect to see more films with AI being part of the theme. Is this something that you guys think is going to become more prevalent going forward?
Absolutely, I hope so. I mean, all of us here in this call and all the audience are science fiction fans, so we're always going to be looking forward to more science fiction films. And yeah, recently we see this on the TV. The TV series are booming all over. We see it on the films. We see it on the books. Yes, and the more we move forward on time, the more closer we get to these things. I mean, now we start to analyze actually films, like it's also on the film house. We also talked about this. We start to analyze films that were done in the past on events that are already happening nowadays, right? And we try to study and investigate how close they were to reality, those predictions, right? So that's really, really interesting.
Well, here's probably one of the last set of questions I have here is what turned out to be the best way to promote the film? What's working best for you guys?
Okay, from my point of view, but then I would like also the point of view from Victor and Christine. I'm interested in that one. From my point of view, Troy film festivals like yours, the fact, and I'm being very honest here, the fact of a film festival highlighting, selecting, and even giving awards to a humble film like ours, a film that was done in a little extended way, but basically just a bunch of friends isolated into a house for 18 days, shooting something for the first time, having no idea what we are doing. The fact that the result is on the other side of the world in a film festival like yours, the Miami Science Fiction Film Festival, that you watch it, that you like it, you select it, and then you promote it. This is what's giving us the most visibility. The best example is this call today. This helps us a lot, like a lot.
That's very nice. Very nice for you to say that, Manolo. And yes, I agree that film festivals are one of the best engines to promote a film. After all, that's what the mission of the festival
Right,
is to curate some of the best content that it receives and shares that content with its community. Since we're an international film festival, we have the challenge of not just reaching out to our zip codes, but to the international community that's always knocking on our door, looking at what we're doing. Either they are filmmakers that want to produce films and send them our way, or they're people who actually want to fly in and attend the festival. That does happen. So, you know, like with a lot of the other sister festivals that are out there, we try to have relationships where we understand what they like, because what they like is in that part of the United States or the world, it's going to be a little bit different than what we like. But there's always overlap. There's always overlap.
right,
If they show 50 films, we show 50 films. I can almost guarantee you 20, 30 of those films we have. That's just the way it is. Um, but as far as a film, and I tell this to a lot of filmmakers, um, study the film festivals that you want to send your film. You know, if you don't have a sci-fi film, don't send it to a sci-fi festival. But on the contrary, if you have a sci-fi film, look specifically for sci-fi film festivals because you're going to have a greater chance of those festivals accepting your film. And every filmmaker, if you intend to show your film at a festival, you need to prepare for being at that festival. You know, you spend $50,000 making a film. Part of $50,000 needs to be invested into merchandising. Those are things like T-shirts, right? Those are things like mugs and buttons. You know, buttons are a really big deal. You actually can get a nice return. Oh, this is my last button. I had a button over. You actually have merchandising.
yeah,
Merchandising is a really big deal. Most of the money that George Lucas made was on merchandising, right? So
right,
shirts, buttons, cups, mugs, you know, carry a box of shirts or mail those box of shirts a month in advance to the festival, and they'll be happy to sell them as part of the rest of the merchandise that they're selling. Everybody's into this, so that helps promote the festival. I'm sorry, it's going to help to promote the film, and in return, you might put an extra $400 in your pocket after going to the festival. It can happen.
right,
You know, if it's
right, right,
and it's a big hit, it can happen. We've seen people fly in and set up a booth where they're entertaining the attendees, the people that come watch the films. They come and take pictures with them and meet with them. You know, you get opportunities. We can go have lunch with everybody, dinner with everybody, everything. You know, so it's all part of marketing your film. Spike Lee has an
exactly.
article about that. Spike Lee has a fantastic article that says the film festival is the beginning of the distribution of your film. Take it very seriously. So I agree with that.
So actually, guys, we have a guest here. She's a Google project manager,
Uh-oh.
and she's gonna say hi. She's been to I think your area as well. So here she is. This Sonal Mookie. Let me take off the so you can ask me.
Hello.
How are you all
Pretty good.
tonight?
All good.
AI, huh?
Great. Yeah, I love Spain. I've been only to Madrid and Barcelona and Toledo as well. Beautiful
Thank
country.
you. We're all in Barcelona.
Yeah, I think it's she can't hear you, but somehow when I took out the
Yeah.
little dongle, I think you can hear us hopefully, but she can't hear you. I hear you. You can do sign language.
Yeah, I hear you.
All right, we're gonna log off now. I think we're gonna look for the
Pretty good stuff.
Santa
Good
Claus
stuff.
on the UFO.
Good stuff.
Nice meeting you guys. Congratulations on your film.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
That's pretty neat to
Okay.
have one location because right now is Miami Art Week, and Art Basel's closed. Art Basel is closed for they said they're not coming, but
Mm-hmm.
half of the people that attend Art Basel are from Miami and are artists. So they're still producing art. They're still trying to sell their works. They're still wanting to have their acts and shows. So it's still going on, and it's going on in a virtual world, and it's going on in the real world. So
Right.
um, I think it's pretty neat that we're able to do these on location things. I'd rather think about this going forward because you could have the show and still be interviewing people in the street in the real world, and we're over here.
Yes, Troy, just think yourself 10 years ago, only 10 years ago, that's super close. If you would be able to do this video conference we're doing today, or even the film festival that you organized earlier this year in a virtual way, no way. And that's only 10 years ago. That's how fast technologies go.
Oh,
I mean,
absolutely, absolutely. I think we may have been one of the first festivals to do a Q and A. This was probably almost 4 years ago. Almost 4 years ago, we did a Q&A, live Q&A of a film from India, but we called them on WhatsApp and used a microphone, and it worked perfectly.
okay.
So we do that.
Yeah.
Okay. So, but yeah, it's pretty neat. Just to repeat again, the awards. Best Supporting Actor went to Ruben Serrano. Best Actress went to Miriam Torsa and Manolo Munguia. That's you. Received Best Director. So,
Yeah.
that's it.
Yeah, and we were really honored, and it was a huge pleasure and a huge surprise, actually, Troy. So, yeah, thanks again.
The last thing is, two last questions is what were some, and please don't say it was us, because what of the festivals that you were in that you attended, which were the ones that were most exciting?
Okay, the first one I'm going to let Christina answer because she went with me to one.
¿En qué festival te sentiste como más, que te hizo más ilusión
Yeah.
asistir?
Yeah. When we went to Edinburgh to the premiere, European or international premiere, and that was incredible because we went to the castle of Edinburgh. It's amazing, and we dressed very nice.
Fancy.
It was a wonderful day.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was our international premiere, Troy, in the Edinburgh International Film Festival, and it was great because a bunch of people came with us. They invited me, and I think we were 9 people, like a lot of the actors and some other crew members from the film, and so it was really good. So that's definitely number one. Number two happened actually also this year, before the pandemic situation. I was invited to the Prague Futuregate Film Festival. Maybe you heard about it. Maybe they are colleagues of yours also.
I'm not familiar with the folks there. Okay.
Okay, so we were in competition against Color Out of Space, Nicolas Cage. We were against Synchronic, which just opened, I think, in the US right now. The other one was Little Joe, the one with the plants and this. I mean, there were 5 films, and we were there, and we were like, our film is here. This is incredible, and we won the audience award, and the award is fantastic. And I was super shocked by that. I mean, they treat me really, really, really well, and we ended up with an award that is probably the best one that we have at this moment. Yes, we really didn't expect so many awards, so many people liking our film so much. I mean, we have 25 awards or something like that.
That's awesome.
At this moment.
That's
It is. Yeah. It's fantastic.
How have you been to the States a couple times, or?
We were about to. We were, besides your film festival, there were 2 or 3 that we were intending to go. We were going to go to Buenos Aires, to the Buenos Aires Rojo Sangre Film Festival. We were going to go to California. There was one there called the Method Film Festival. And we had to cancel everything.
Yeah, I see Milwaukee also.
Milwaukee is the last one we won the Best Picture award, and that was also very recent, yes. We were super surprised also. We said, oh, really? Ours? That was really cool.
Well, listen, guys, do you have anything else to say as we wrap up?
No, just to say thank you.
Thank you for inviting us.
Okay.
I'm sorry because we can't explain very well with English.
Oh, that's okay. We speak Spanish in London.
Now, Troy, I will just say that you can be sure that whenever we make something else, if we ever shoot something else, it will. I mean, we will definitely send it to you, to your film festival for competition to see if you like it enough.
Oh, we always look forward to getting new films from our alumni.
Daddy, why
Absolutely.
upstairs is dark?
It's dark outside. Okay, guys, that's it. So
He's scared.
thank you so much.
Okay. Thank you, Troy.
And please stay in touch. Let us know what things are going.
All right.
And we hope to see you again very soon. Keep us in the
Absolutely.
All right.
We have to.
Okay, thank you, Troy.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Estoy hasta abajo, hasta el Michelin.